Well, here we go. What you drinking? 33 alcohol free. We're up to video 31. Pretty exciting. It's weird today. I was thinking of not drinking at all again, but the day before I was ready to start as soon as possible. So I'm flipping backwards and forwards. My my thinking on alcohol is flipping all over the place. The flipping thing. So it's going to be interesting to see when I finish this video series what I do. So there will be a day where I'm like, I want to drink. Today I'm fine. Tomorrow I'll probably want to drink. And then, yeah, who knows? Excellent. So, what's next? Chapter. Video 31. That's what's next. And we've got William Jennings Byron. Destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. It's not a thing to be waited for. It's a thing to be achieved. Destiny is something to be achieved. Yeah, if I keep that in mind, maybe that will keep me away from drinking. Is what destiny do I want? Do I want to, yeah, good question. But congratulations for going this far. If you're joining me on this alcohol-free, go you. You're awesome. You're doing really well. I'm glad I'm doing this video series because I would be drinking again if I didn't have this accountability. So let's drink to that. Cheers. Chink. Let me know what you're drinking in the comments below. So completing the 33-day experiment is a big accomplishment and you should be proud. No matter where you go from here, you will never lose this time of learning, self-reflection and empowerment. Just the fact of trying to do this, we have done really well. I might move the camera a bit. We've done really well. So congrats to that, simple. And while you may not realize the enormity of your accomplishment, I promise you that powerful shifts have been happening. I know powerful shifts have happened mainly through learning new things about alcohol that I didn't know. So I look at alcohol completely differently now. And how am I looking? I think I do look a little bit healthier, less puffy. I was looking at a video of me before. I think, yeah, what do you think? From the first video to this one, I might even have a look later. Do I look a bit healthier? You have embarked on a path of awareness and you will naturally and effortlessly be more mindful of your drinking in the future. What happens next will depend on where you fall on the spectrum of drinkers. Where will we fall? Everyone is different and your results from this experiment may surprise you. Okay. It's possible that you found the past 33 days difficult and still feel emotionally dependent on alcohol. If that's the case, you may want to check out the resources at thisnakedmind.com, which is Annie's other book. I might see if that's available from my library. I got this one from my library. I'm a big library person. My grandfather told me, Paul, why buy a book when you can join a library? But he was talking about women. Not very good advice to give a very young boy. My grandmother laughed and said, don't listen to him, Paul. Excellent. It's all possible. It's also possible that you feel amazing and want to continue alcohol-free for the next few weeks. Just see how it goes. Just see how it goes. You feel amazing and never want to drink again, maybe? You feel amazing and would like to return to more moderate, mindful drinking. There are options, or you may decide to go back full on again. There's heaps of options. But we're going back now with and understanding, and with resetting our system so that it's more control we have, which is awesome. However you feel is perfect. Remember, this was an experiment. It's not a life sentence. And the whole purpose of these past 33 days was to get mindful and present around what alcohol is and how it affects the human body and mind. You've done that. We've done that. We've known how alcohol affects the human body and mind, and we're more mindful about alcohol now. And which means we've succeeded. Whether or not you've drunk throughout this series, you've succeeded by just learning and pressing play and listening to me rabbiting on. Sheesh, you'll be looking forward to when it's over. There is often a big fear around returning to drinking after a period of abstinence, like during this experiment. People wonder whether they can really do it, or whether they will ruin all the work they've put into themselves over the weeks or months. They are afraid to trust themselves to go back to drinking. Yep, I would put my hand up for those things. It's always possible that you could head down that slippery slope towards the out of control drinking again. At some point it may happen. And then if we've got those lines in the sand, step back, take abstinence again for another 30, or even challenge yourself for 60 days next time. And my goal is to help you recognize that downward trend as soon as possible. So recognizing it quicker this time. The sooner you recognize what's happening, the sooner you can stop yourself and reverse that trend. Back it up, reverse it. No matter what you're feeling right now, I want to offer you a few different ideas to give you some additional insights into where you are right now and what you might truly want. Again, these ideas have no right or wrong. There's no judgment around them. Whatever you decide is good, but you have a unique opportunity in this moment. We've completely purged alcohol from your system, and you have the chance to objectively observe what actually happens when you drink. So after these 30 days, because we've fully purged alcohol out of our system, when I drink again, I'm going to sit with it a bit more and try and watch these cycles that we now understand what really happens in our chemical balances while we're drinking. If you tried these strategies at the beginning of the experiment, you'd get different results because you'd have remnants of alcohol in your system. No longer remnants of alcohol in our system. That is awesome. So take this opportunity to become a reporter and actually study the facts and your behavior before making any choice about your future. All right, strategy 1. Get drunk for science. Is she going to tell us to get drunk? Before I dive into this strategy, please know I do not recommend you do this unless you've decided to go back to drinking. Unless you've decided to go back to drinking. If you are planning to take a longer break, great, that's awesome. This is not required. So if you've decided to abstinence, we don't need to get drunk for science. But I highly suggest that you do it before you pick up your next drink mindlessly. All right. So if you're deciding to try and do moderation, when we drift back into drinking, we immediately reprogram our unconscious because we often drift back into either during a celebration or when we're stressed. So rather than when it's a celebration or stressed or our own cycles, in each of those situations, you deliver a strong subconscious message to your brain. If you drink for celebration, chances are you are in a situation where it's going to be fun anyway, like a birthday party or a vacation that you've been planning. So if you're going to be drinking again, make sure the first time you're drinking is not connected with an already happy event. We don't want to condition the alcohol back to feeling like, well, that was a great night. It would have been probably a great night without alcohol anyway. So when you have a drink, you do have fun. You've delivered a powerful message to the subconscious that alcohol is fun. When we slip back into drinking for stress, the same thing happens. The alcohol seems to work because alcohol will numb your brain, and therefore any uncomfortable feelings you have for a limited time, 20, 30 minutes, yet in that 20 or 30 minutes, you've delivered a powerful message to your subconscious that alcohol is great for stress relief. So I think she's going to say our first drink should not be connected to relieving stress or in an environment that is already happy anyway. I recommend that if you decide to go back to drinking, you do it mindfully with this strategy. Strategy will show you exactly how alcohol truly makes you feel, which allows you to make a mindful decision about it. But again, do this only if you've decided to drink again. It's not recommended if you decided to continue and make this experiment longer for 33 to 60 to 90 days, however long you have decided. Now, we know that going out for a drink with friends and having a beer at a concert is fun, right? But is it the alcohol? No. Or simply being with your friends and enjoying some great music, that's the fun part. The only way you can know for sure is to separate those two, which means drinking alone. There's an excuse I've used to figure this out. There's an exercise. Basically, you need to remove all external sources of stimulation from your environment. Anything like TV, music, or friends will distract you from the actual feelings you're getting from the alcohol. So shutting off the TV, no movie. Here's what you're gonna do. Get drunk alone with a video camera and be mindful about how you're feeling during the whole experience. You'll want to record your thoughts and sensations around the first drink you consume. Interesting. And you'll want to continue recording your feelings as you continue to the next drink and beyond. You're basically getting drunk for science, your own personal science, to help you decide whether you want to continue on this path. Interesting. So she's asking you to film yourself, or probably can't write down, because if you're going to get really drunk, how drunk is she talking? Good question. When you have your first drink, notice how long it takes to get that tipsy feeling. Tell the video camera exactly what you're feeling, what sensations you're experiencing. Is there any anxiety? And notice how long that feeling lasts. When I did this experiment, my video went something like, okay, feels interesting. I'm a little bit tingly. I'm not necessarily with it right now, but my brain has stopped running 1,000,000 miles an hour, and that's kind of a nice feeling. Whatever you notice is fine. No one is going to watch this video but you. Okay, I may try the video thing. Do you want to watch me get drunk? Then wait for at least an hour. See how it feels to come off that first drink. So you have a drink and then you've got to wait an hour and feel the sensations of coming off the drink. Then objectively ask yourself if you feel better or worse an hour later. Just sit and be mindful at how you're feeling and what thoughts might be running through your head. Then you can talk to the video camera again, and she said something like, okay, that tipsy feeling is pretty much worn off now, so maybe in an hour. And I'm starting to feel a little bit uneasy. I really want the next drink. The 1 hour delay is important. So you have to have a 1 hour delay. You can't go into the next drink straight away. Have to, it's important. Because it takes that long for your body to fully metabolize one drink, and you want to record how it feels to come off the first one, and how badly do you want to pour the next one. Sitting in just the one drink and then seeing, how much you want the next one. That would be interesting. You might be fine, or you might be surprised how much you want it. I drank an entire bottle of wine during my video experience, and it was one of the most enlightening things I've ever done. She became enlightened. because I wanted to know all the stages. Record yourself in 15-minute intervals, set a timer, turn on your camera for 5 minutes or so, and talk about how you're feeling. Talk about any conclusions you've drawn so far. Tell stories. Is this fun? Are you having fun getting drunk, waiting an hour? Are you enjoying yourself and you feeling more or less stressed than before you started? That will be interesting. The stress of maybe wanting that next drink and not having it. Is it fun? Good question. You could even prepare some questions that you want to answer on the camera ahead of time. Prepare some questions for yourself. But talking about anything is fine because you're going to watch the video the next day and make some observations. You're the only one watching it, so it would be interesting. How do you look around the eyes as the video progresses? Watch the eyes, okay. How is your voice? How is your skin tone? Does the skin tone change? How is your demeanor? Is how playful, how sad, how anxious do you look? That would be interesting. Is that person in the video a person you want to be? Maybe yes, maybe no. So Annie says she did this herself for about 40 days, alcohol free. Now this is important. You need to be at least 30 days alcohol free in order for this experiment to have the impact it should. So if you have been drinking throughout this series, don't try this. Go the whole 33 days and then you can try this drinking method because you need the alcohol to be fully out of your system. So, and here's why. It takes at least these 33 days for your body and brain to rebalance from drinking. And if you are less than 30 days alcohol free, you may be experiencing some types of benefit as alcohol addresses any of the withdrawal symptoms. So it could be addressing withdrawal symptoms, which we've pushed through the withdrawal symptoms if you've managed to get through this with me. This means drinking will feel better than it would normally because of the deficit and the imbalance of your prior drinking caused. Yeah, so because you haven't fully detoxed and the alcohol will feel better than what it would because you've got some sort of addiction thing happening. Interesting. If you decide to do the experiment, do it alone. Do it mindfully. Follow the rules. Stay safe, of course, and be sure to film it. It was one of the most powerful things I've done in terms of truly opening my eyes around alcohol. I couldn't even watch the video for years, but I knew without a doubt that when I decoupled alcohol from both scratching the itch of my withdrawal symptoms from the natural pleasures of life, like friends, sports, going out, etc., there was no joy for me in alcohol alone. So doing alcohol alone, no other stimuli, sitting with it and being a scientist. You can watch my experiment video as part of the online social challenge at alcoholexperiment.com, and remember, at this alcoholexperiment.com there is a community there if you want to join. I didn't do that, but if that's something that you're into, do that. Or if you want a community, start messaging underneath my videos. We'll see what happens. Strategy 2, non-negotiables and lengthening. After you watch your video the next day, you might decide that you do want to return to moderate drinking. Here's a strategy for keeping yourself objective and honest about whether you're truly in control moving forward. Are you truly in control? Go back and refresh your memory on your non-negotiables. What's that line in the sand? These are your lines in the sand that you will not cross without some sort of backup plan. Backup plan to keep us on the trajectory that we want. It's not a punishment. It's being smart. If you have set yours If you haven't set yours yet, you can go back to the beginning of the experiment and refresh your memory on your big why. Why is this important for you to undertake? Why was it important for you to undertake this experiment in the very first place? Base your non-negotiables on what's important to you. So Annie says it was for her, it was her memories, which she's brought up a few times with her children growing up. She mentioned there was a birthday party that she drank so much in, she can't even remember her child's birthday party. It's such a finite, special time, and my memories were getting fuzzier and fuzzier. In fact, it breaks my heart that I can't remember my son's 3rd birthday. Even though I wasn't blackout drunk or anything, I have memory gaps. So that was her big why. So I set a non-negotiable that if I couldn't remember something from the night of drinking, then that line has been crossed for her. And it was time to reassess and play it smart. So have those backup plans. Another non-negotiable for me was drinking as self-medication. If I simply have to have a drink because I was stressed out for some reason, that's not okay. If I was totally committed to finding other healthy ways to deal with stress and uncomfortable emotions, finding other ways to deal with the stress and those emotions that come up. I couldn't keep going back to the bottle every time I had a bad day or things were tough in life, because that train, we know where that train was headed. Toot toot, the alcohol train. I did not want to be on it when it crashed. And we know that alcohol train is always heading to places where we will hurt people that we love. And we will end up saying and doing things, texting people we don't want to and shouldn't be texting. Before I started drinking, I used to run or read a book. Yep, so she ran, exercised, read a book. I can read more when I'm not drinking to handle negative emotions. I knew without a shadow of a doubt that alcohol was making things worse. So the lengthening strategy is a great tool because you never have to give up drinking forever. It's a lengthening. You simply give it up for longer and longer periods each time you cross the line in the sand. So if you do go over, for example, if I just came off 30-day abstinence period and broke one of my non-negotiables, then would immediately start a 60-day break. So you got to double it if you cross the sand. And the next time it happened, I'd start a 90-day break, and so on. Even if I would end up giving myself a 3-year break, it's not forever. To my brain, that was an easier time for accepting it. So if you go over abstinence, we've done this far. Yeah, our next goal, 60, if we need it. Yes, sounds good. The trick is setting up the non-negotiables and the consequences ahead of time when you've been alcohol-free for a while. This way, you're not punishing yourself for being bad in the past. All you're doing is objectively setting boundaries. You're being smart about the future, just like any responsible person would with a potentially dangerous substance. You are in control of this entire situation. Alcohol is no longer in control. Alcohol is no longer in control. You are in control. And you will be seeing that. Yeah, you got it? I've got it. Let's go. The end result is that you keep pushing out your time frames longer and longer whenever you cross that line in the sand. A friend of mine, Annie says, used this strategy, eventually lengthened her experiments to be a year without drinking. After a year, she no longer saw any point to drinking again. If you ask her, she won't say she's quit alcohol forever. She simply says, not right now, I just don't feel like it. That's what I'll say. I'm just not drinking. No, thanks. I would really love a lemon, lime and bitters though. Oh yes, I am drinking a lemon, lime and bitters. Alcohol has become truly small and irrelevant in her life without her even having to make a painful decision. This is because no matter how long she lengthened her experiments, she knew she could always go back to the end of the abstinence period if she wanted to. After a year, she no longer wanted to. How amazing is that? It's freeing to know that you're in control. Making the abstinence longer and longer. It seems interesting. I'm not stopping forever, but if I do go over my line, then of course it shows that I will need a longer abstinence this time. Strategy 3, understand that maybe means yes. I know where this is going. Maybe I might drink. I'm drinking a lot. If you're coming off the experiment and you're at all concerned about backsliding, it's important to go forward mindfully. It's tempting to leave your options open. Let's see. That's the way I've been talking. Let's see what happens. Well, I'm done with the challenge. Maybe I'll have a drink tonight at dinner. Or maybe a few margaritas while we're on vacation. Maybe almost always. Maybe always for most of the time means yes. If you don't make a decision ahead of time, you're going to end up drinking. So if you don't make a decision beforehand, you've made a decision to let's see what happens and you'll drink. Yes, I agree with that. That might be fine or it may not. It may not be fine. But by not making a conscious decision, you're giving up a little bit of control. And you haven't even had a sip yet. It's true. So just leaving it as a maybe, we're giving up a slight bit of control to alcohol even before we've had any alcohol. Interesting point. It doesn't matter whether you decide to drink that evening. Just realize that it's the decision that matters. Deciding I'm going to drink and owning it rather than going, let's see what happens. Yeah. Before you go out with your friends, make the decision. Before you head to your favorite watering hole after work with your friends after work, make the decision. Don't go there and be led or see what happens, because you will drink. Make your decision. Keep that bit of power. Running out of battery. Will you be having a drink? Visualize it. That's right, we had that visualize exercise. Imagine how great the iced tea will taste with dinner, or imagine yourself easily saying, no thanks, owning it, visualizing, not drinking tonight, work out what you're going to say. Just not this week. I drank enough last week for this week, even though we didn't. They don't need to know that. If it's a maybe, then 99% of the time it's going to be a yes. So, what's next? What's next is entirely up to you. But Annie says in her experience, once you start drinking again, you quickly regret that decision because you start to realize you're not actually in control. I've seen it hundreds of times. Someone finishes the 30-day challenge and they think they're fine. They'll have 1 or 2 nights of moderate drinking. Before they know it, they're right back to where they started before the experiment. They thought they were in control, but as we've talked about, it is a slippery slope. It's kind of like the kids' game, Snakes and Ladders, where you try to get up one end and down the other, you get it. When you get to skip ahead by climbing up ladders, but then the snake, you get on him and you slide all the way back down the bottom. Remember that really big snake near the end? It'd take you all the way right back. Yeah. Did you play Snakes and Ladders? There were 2 options at that point. Get angry, blame yourself, flip the board over, and go grab a beer, a tequila, or whatever you like to drink. Or you can just laugh at yourself, realize you need to start that forward process again, and know in your heart that you can make up the lost ground, and you've learned. It's not a stumbling block, it's a stepping stone, and it is something that we can learn from. What caused us to go down the slippery slope? So next time we come across that circumstance, we can visualize it, we can make decisions beforehand, and we'll be smarter. So it is always a learning process. No one sets out to screw up their life with alcohol. There's never a conscious intention to drink to the point of giving yourself a deadly disease. You aren't even consciously aware of when your drinking became something more than you intended, or when you unknowingly gave your power over to alcohol. Circumstances line up just right, and bam, your marriage is over. Or you lose your kids, or you get fired from your job. The good news is that unlike a game of chance, you do have some control over your own behavior. We can take that control back, and you have a choice to learn from these setbacks. I made a promise to myself, says Annie, a long time ago, to never beat myself up over slip-ups or mistakes. Let's make that promise. If we slip up, we go down that slippery snake ride, it's part of the process. It will be. We will have times that have to go abstinence again. Instead, I promise to treat them as a learning experience and a chance to move forward with new resolve. You have the same opportunity. Setbacks are part of being human, whether it's with drinking or gambling or being a good parent or being a good friend. We all have good days and bad days. The point is to learn from the bad days so you have fewer and fewer of them in the future. Learn from these bad days. Today, if you've decided to stop drinking indefinitely, great. Go you if you've decided that. Kudos to you. If you've decided you want to keep drinking and feel you can do some more moderately drinking, great. Good for you too. Whatever decision you make is good. You can always change your mind. Yeah, we can shift later. It's about keeping the power and the control. You are the boss. And the social challenge, and so the alcoholexperiment.com is available if you want some accountability, or I'm here, chat. And if you need more resources and this incredible journey, done. So yeah, chat in here if you need someone to banter with about your alcohol. We might start a community, our own little group. So, reflections, we got Brianna. 30 days ago, I was in utter despair. I was afraid, but also sick of being addicted and ready to make the changes I seriously needed. My before and after pictures tell a huge story. I will go back and have a look at that first video. Do I look better? I am astonished at the changes. In this month, I have also fixed up other parts of my life and am now getting somewhere that I like, and I have goals. I still haven't gone to the gym. I have the zest for life again and my creativity back. I know in my heart that I will succeed, and I now believe in myself and only want to be a happy woman who loves and respects herself and others. This is what's coming home. This is what coming home feels like. Thank you, Annie, for this gift. That was Brianna. We got Becky. What's the Beckstick got to say? Becky. If you really, it's the weasel. Was her name Becky from Son-in-Law? Becky. I can't remember. I think it was. If you really want something, you can achieve it. I tried so many times thinking I wanted it badly, but I wasn't ready. I didn't want it enough. This time I did, and I'm sure that the key was to this successful 33 days will be the key to the future of the success. Okay, Becky, sure it's hard, but you can do it if the mind is clear on what it wants. So yes, unlike some, I can trust myself to go back to drinking moderately. So for me, this is the end of a very rough, abusive relationship. Woo! Thank you, Annie. I'm so glad I found this. I'm so glad I participated. So proud that I've come this far. The Begster. Samuel, thank you. Just thank you. Here's to mindfulness. Here's to mindfulness. Ching. Here's to friends and family and fun. Here's to everything in its place. Here's to being present. Here's everything I've gotten in touch with over the last 30 days. Thank you. And the last one is Vince. Thank you 1,000 times, Annie, for creating this experiment. It's the best, most educational, compassionate alcohol program. I can see clearly now the alcohol is gone. It's disguised as poison and never delivers what it promises. That's right. Thank you to everyone who did the experiment too, for your honesty. Wow, I'm going to go to do the experiment again now. He's starting from the top. Well, I'll probably start from the top and watch myself take this back to the library, but I've got it on my YouTube. A Man Readeth. If you've forgotten, that's where you find me. So that was Vince. Okay, so today we've learned about the slippery snake, and we may slide down the snake again. So put the snake emoji down the bottom. You've reached it this far. You are the elite. Thanks for joining me. We've got another 2 videos to go. Oh, that's a bit rude. 2 videos to go. Remember, snakey emoji. Come on, what are you doing? Put the snake emoji down there now, so I know that you've reached it to the end. Snakey, snakey, I'm a snake. I'm a snake. Yeah. You a snake? I'm a snake. And alcohol is a snake. It is a slippery little sucker, and it doesn't taste, it's not a very good friend, is it? No, it isn't. That's what we've learned over so far. We're gonna have a final word on the next video, and then after that, we're gonna delve into dreams a bit more, which should be interesting. I'm interested to do that one. I've got the thing up here. Wait a minute. This is the magazine I found. And in here is an article about dreams. So I'm going to do that to make it 33 videos. And then I'll look at the other articles. I might do some other videos on consciousness and science, what science thinks about consciousness at the moment. Seems like a very recent magazine. Yeah, so learn about dreams, which will be the last video to make it 33. Alcohol free. Thanks for joining me again tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow for the last word and dreams after that. Like you know, don't forget the snake. Snake. Down the bottom emoji snake. See ya.